Surrounding the topic of rehydration drinks, there seems to be much confusion, and we're often asked what we recommend as a good choice. So what I'd like to do in this video is actually share with you 3 different types of rehydration drinks, their application, and also give you some recipes that you can use at home to make these different drinks. Hello, my name is Dr. Robert Bartosh of Proactive Wellness and Injury Center. And if you are watching this video and you're a professional or an elite athlete that has questions regarding rehydration drinks, I might suggest that you view a previous video that we made that goes into detail regarding all of the different criteria that would determine a really good drink, because this is going to enhance and it's going to affect your ability to recover and perform. But this video, as I said earlier, what I'm wanting to do is just to identify 3 different types and to share with you their applications and recipes for them. You know, we are inundated with all choices regarding these drinks, and frankly, in my opinion, now listen, there are some really good ones out there, but you've got to really scrutinize and read the labels. And at the same time, there are a lot of drinks out there that, as I said, in my opinion, aren't really that good. And some of them are very poor at best, and all of them, if you continue to use them, can be quite expensive or pricey. And the beauty of this also, you can make these up at home, and it's going to save you a considerable amount of money. So as we get into this video, allow me then to identify the 3 types, the first of which is the hypotonic. Now that's a thirst quencher, and it's going to be absorbed much more quickly than water, and it's very, very good for recreational sports. So if you're playing tennis, volleyball, basketball, ping pong, badminton, soccer, those types of activities, this would be a drink that would be ideally suited for recreational activities. The next type is the isotonic. Now that also is a thirst quencher. It's going to provide energy, but it's going to be absorbed at the same rate as water would. So this is going to be really best suited for endurance sports. So if you're training for 15Ks or 10 miles, half marathons, full marathons, this is the type of drink or the recipe that would be best suited for those activities. The third type is the hypertonic. Now it also is going to supply energy. It is, however, going to be absorbed much more slowly than water would, and it's very, very good for long duration activities. So if you're out mountain climbing, rappelling, if you're doing trail hiking, trail running, those types of activities that are long endurance, they're over a long period of time, you're not expending a lot of energy, burst energy over that time, then this drink would be best suited for you. So again, you have the hypotonic, that's going to be for recreational, the isotonic, it's going to be for the endurance, and then the hypertonic is going to be for the long duration activities. So let's get into the recipes then. Now for the hypotonic, that's going to be recreational. I would recommend 8 ounces of apple or orange juice. Now we're not talking about the drinks. In all of these recipes, you're going to want to select the apple or the orange juice, no drinks. Now for some people, they want exclusively, you can use all apple juice. Other palates, you might want all orange juice, and there are some individuals that like to mix it 50-50. Really doesn't matter, as long as you use those 2 as sources. The second thing, however, does matter. And for this recipe, it's going to be 25 ounces of water. Now, my recommendation when choosing the waters, there's many, many choices out there, but I would recommend spring water. I think it's the best of the bunch, if you will. And when you're making these recipes up, you're going to want to warm the water for all of them. As you initially make it up, you're going to want to warm the water, because in these recipes you're also going to be adding a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Now it's not table salt, we don't want that, but my recommendation again regarding the salt would be either Celtic, that's C-E-L-T-I-C, the Celtic sea salt, or the Himalayan sea salt. Now the Himalayan you can get pink or blue, but Again, we don't want the table salt. You want the Celtic or the Himalayan sea salt. Now, the reason being is because we want to ensure that we get the electrolytes in. Specifically, we want to get the magnesium, potassium, sodium, the chloride, and you're going to get a lot of different minerals with the sea salts. Now, the reason why we're going back to the water now, why we want to warm the water when we initially make this recipe, is to ensure that there's dilution of these minerals throughout the entire solution. So when you do it, you want to just use warm spring water, put the 1/4 teaspoon of sea salt in there, in addition to the apple or the orange juice or the combination of both. Shake it up really, really well, and then you're going to want to go ahead and refrigerate it and keep it for the event for which you're going to use it. Now, having said that as well, let me say to you that these drinks are ideal for your training periods. They're great. They're as good as most of the formulas that you're going to get off the counter, I assure you. But I know some of you may want to keep the really good stuff for the event, and I understand that. But please know that this is going to be ideal for your training times. So now we go to the isotonic, and that's for the, we talked about the endurance sports, 15K, 10 mile, half marathon, full marathon, the endurance sports. What we want to do then is use the 16 ounces now. We want a little bit more because, again, we're going to be endurance. It's going to be a longer period of time. 16 ounces of the apple or the orange juice, not the drink, or a combination of both. Then we also want the 16 ounces of the spring water, my recommendation again, and then added to that a 1/4 teaspoon of the Celtic or the Himalayan sea salt. Once again, warm water in the mixture, shake it up so that everything is dissolved and spread out equally, and then put it into the refrigerator so that it's going to be ready for the event, for the training period that you're going to use it. Now, also, I might say, before I go any further, with all of these mixtures, as you are using them, it's a good idea to go ahead and shake it a little bit before you go ahead and consume it, just to ensure that there is an equal mixture of all of the ingredients throughout the solution. The last one, that's for the long endurance, the long duration activity. That's the hypertonic one. I'm recommending either 13 ounces of the apple or the orange juice combined with the 32 ounces of spring water, and again, a 1/4 teaspoon. You don't need any more, regardless of whether it's hyper, hypo, or isotonic. A 1/4 teaspoon of the Celtic and or the Himalayan sea salt. And again, you want to mix these all up before you do drink them. These are all going to be the formulas that you're going to want to use. Now, some people have asked, well, does it have to be exactly 8 ounces of apple or orange, or does it have to be exactly? Now, look, it's to taste. Now, if you find that the recipes that I've given you, regardless of which one you use, is a little too sweet, then you can easily add a little bit more water to dilute it to taste. Or if it's not sweet enough, add a little bit of the apple or the orange juice. But you don't want to divorce yourself too far from these formulas, because it's imperative that we get the absorption rates. Now, understand, the first one, the hypotonic, is absorbed much more quickly than water, so we don't want to play with the formula too awful much. The other one, it's going to be absorbed about the same rate as water. Again, don't play with it too much. And the hyper, that's the long duration. It's going to be absorbed again much more slowly than water, and it's going to have a long lasting effect over a period of time. So again, you can play with the formulas, but not too awful much. Look, I hope this has been a benefit to you. I assure you again, it's as good as most of the products that you're going to get off the shelf. You can easily make these up at home, and they aren't going to be as damaging to your body as some of these combinations, these formulas that you get off the counter with the weird colors and whatnot that you're drinking. I mean, you've got to ask yourself, how did they get it this color and whatnot? And then also, the silver lining to this cloud is that you're going to be saving a considerable amount of money by making it up at home and having it there. Again, I hope it has been a benefit to you. If you do have any questions or comments, we always welcome them, and you can add them to the bottom of the video here. As always, we invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is Proactive Wellness. And until the next video, and as always, God bless.